Hi, Dylan Morrison here. Welcome to the 13th talk in my Desire series entitled The Empire Strikes Back. In my last blog talk, You Can't Keep a Good Man Down, I suggested that Yeshua, the executed Galilean prophet, received a mind-boggling endorsement from divine source by means of a previously unheard of rising from the realm of the dead. Body, a quantum-like version, psyche or personality, and spirit, his divine essence, all appear to have reunited in the risen Jewish rabbi. The almost playful appearances of this new man, as narrated by his close followers, give us telling glimpses of the divine queendom and its liberating nature. The four dimensions of space-time didn't appear to limit this realm, where divine love consumed everything in its dance. Desire, in its rivaling skewed form, doesn't appear to have anything in which to embed itself, nothing for it to latch onto. Here, only aligned desire seems to flow between God and man. Outside space-time, all things prove possible to the limitless Master. So, where does that all leave us? And why is the world still as skewed 2,000 years later as it was before Christ himself? In other words, where is this so-called utopian realm of divine rule, and why is it only visible to the trained and awakened eye? Let's attempt to answer this apparent yet important flaw in the divine operation. The very early Yeshua movement was totally energized by the unexpected rising and subsequent appearances of their teacher friend. Those, previously fearful and in hiding, bravely burst forth to proclaim a radical new world to the religious and political societies of their day. Amazing miracles or signs of this new kingdom broke through the borders of space-time to demonstrate the healing nature of this new world order. Simply put, the Yeshua movement was embarked on a spirit-fueled role, one that threatened the status quo cultural order based on the old scapegoat mechanism. Such an order, one controlling human society since skewed desire broke free in the mythical garden, wasn't simply going to lie back like some subservient puppy waiting for a divine tummy tickle. No, this system that Yeshua had publicly confronted and exposed in his brutal death wasn't known as the adversary or the Satan for nothing. It had real teeth, and it certainly wasn't afraid to use them. Yeshua's journey into and rising out of death had exposed the previously hidden mechanism once and for all, yet not completely removed it. Like his little tale of the wheat and the tares, the two conflicting realms would coexist until the times of the end, namely the consummation of all into the totality of divine love. Now, the tactics of the old scapegoating order in dealing with this new inbreaking of the divine queendom proved to be as devious as one would expect from such a dogged and entrenched foe. Its warped genius decided to adopt Yeshua and his message. No sense fighting it openly, rather embrace it and bring along his followers before domesticating them. This masterstroke adopted and adapted the emerging Christian faith, using it as a tool for the continued scapegoating and violence of society. The old sacrificial religion, with its emphasis on blood offerings and expiation, rushed in to claim the theological high ground. The Abba of Yeshua was reinvented as one of the gods of old, one who had to be placated through the violent yielding of life, preferably the life of an innocent. Yeshua's message of unconditional love flowing from divine source was airbrushed into the dualistic message of accepting or rejecting his so-called payment for the forgiveness of sins. It was a religious masterstroke, one created by mankind's ego. Skewed desire could still have its own way within the competing worlds of believer and non-believer. The often needed scapegoat could be easily provided for from outside the now Christian worldview, or indeed from within, in the shape of heretics and dissenters. The most devious tactic devised by the mimetic system was the believer's subtle rivalry with the risen Yeshua himself, trying to outdo the Savior in his sacrificial love. Religious self-hatred, cleverly disguised as holiness and sainthood. Constantine, the Roman emperor, who assimilated Christianity, was no fool. By welcoming the troublesome Yeshua movement into the affairs of state, he redirected their focus of desire from that of spirit breath and divine love back into the skewed cultural mix. Empire birthed empire, something that we have mistakenly accepted as the people of God. Awakening to the realization that we daily move in and out of these two opposing worlds, we can begin to feel a genuine compassion for our fellow man. Yet insidiously, we can all too easily use even this reality, the reality of the queendom, to scapegoat those who still don't comprehend it or get it. In doing so, we inadvertently and often unknowingly step back into the world of culture with its knowledge-based superiority system. The temptation for all of us Yeshua followers is to scapegoat the religious or political other, a hypocritical act that only spirit breath can save us from. Salvation from such a judgmental tendency is itself a definite sign that we're living in, if only momentarily, the freedom that Yeshua came to announce. So what of this alternative queendom? Where is it to be found? The answer is simple, yet requires divine revelation to fully comprehend and understand it. The seed of this new world, indeed of the consummation of the ages, lies within us. Spirit breath, our space-time interface with divine love, carries within it the totality of Yeshua's promised land. A seed that doesn't desire the being of another, one containing no metaphysical rivalry with its accompanying fruit of verbal or physical violence. One that births the very image of the Nazarene himself, the Father's Son, the man outside desire. In my next blog talk, I'll examine how an authentic experience of this queendom affects our interpersonal relationships.